M. Night Shyamalan fucking waste my goddamn time. Welcome, everybody, to the Drop Culture Podcast Studios. When you're listening in your ears, you're here with us.
And in our hearts.
Does that make sense? It does, because
we're
in your ears and we're in your hearts forever. Yeah. Nothing but love. This week, as we always do with all of our quick casts, we kind of give you movie news, comic news, video news, VHS news, whatever news that laser discs, the new Betamaxes that are coming out, all the cool stuff, all the reissues and Betamax. So they are. I bet you here pretty soon. They just started a cassette day instead of a record store day. It was a cassette store day.
I feel like I got in on that like a little bit earlier, like a couple of years ago. I really was about some tapes. Now I'm not so much.
Dude, that was that was a labor of love if you like tapes.
Yeah, you go out and
especially tapes that you really liked because there would only be one song on it. Like I remember having like soundtracks,
movie tapes.
No, I'm talking about like cassette tapes.
Oh,
like you would have to bring your whole like fucking Case Logic cases with you, and it would have all your Paula Abdul tapes in it and shit.
I had Amy Grant.
All my Amy Grant tapes.
I had a Walkman with like Nirvana's In Utero. I just play over.
Yeah, like how would you? I was reading that Beastie Boys biography, and Adam Horowitz was talking about how he would carry like 8 tapes with him in his fucking jeans.
Jeez.
And like he would be like, you just want to hear that one fucking song, but then you would have like 8 tapes in your pocket, and you'd be like, oh, check this out. So you'd spend a week making a mixtape, but you'd have 8 other mixtapes in your pocket the whole time. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but
it was the first like iPad or iPod.
Yeah, dude, whenever iPod came out, it was like the world changed for me.
It did. It really did change.
And I didn't ever have an iPod. I had an iPod mini that was given to me for free.
I didn't have an iPod.
I was going to put him as a Zune.
Oh, my father had a Zune, and it was pretty awesome.
Dude, they still run great, supposedly.
Dude, yeah. Like I watched Saw 2 on Zune. Somebody returned to my store. And it had Saw 2 on it, and we were like, "Oh my god!" So everybody in the warehouse,
will be blood.
We're watching it on this little bitty fucking screen. Like, oh, manager's coming. Hold on. I'm like, I'm the fucking manager. Who cares? Let's fucking watch this movie,
dude. Speaking of tapes, are you guys familiar with the Flaming Lips?
Yeah.
Yes.
They did this really cool. You can watch this really cool documentaries. What's that called? Something The Freaks. But they would do this thing where they would record certain tracks on tapes. And they did this big thing in a parking garage with a bunch of participants. Like people would come out, so like certain people would hold up their boom boxes, and they would play that section of the tape and that section of the tape, and then they would combine it to make like an orchestra, if you would.
Aren't they the same group?
It's crazy.
They recorded 4 different records, and you could play them all at the same time.
I've actually done it. It's called Zyreka.
I knew somebody that actually recorded it. Like mixed it all together and everything.
That's not cool. No.
That was crazy. It was like the Dark Side of the Moon.
You're not supposed to. No. You got to put them in. You got to put them in 4 different things. So we had a Walkman CD player hooked up just to a receiver with speakers hooked into the back of that. Then like a boom box, and then we had a stereo in the garage, and then we had the Xbox through the TV. And it was really hard to time it. You have to be like 1, 2, 3. Go, and then it actually syncs it up, and it says this is track number 1, disc number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. You know what I mean? It all goes around you, and when they do drum solos and stuff, it's crazy. It's like
imagine being able to do that, to have the time to do that. That would be so awesome.
It's really cool. Well, I mean, we were kids, so we did it in the garage with a bunch of bongs.
I'm talking about the musicians' time.
Oh yeah. Well, they would just record it, and then they separated it later, I believe. There's one track 6. If I remember correctly, it said there's a warning on the disc that says, "Do not listen to this repeatedly." So I would make people listen to it repeatedly. It has like a really high frequency tone in it.
Ooh,
it's weird, but it's cool. They're really
deaf
cool.
Now.
Cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, now they can't hear.
They're like, why are we listening to this one again? And I'm like, well, there's a warning on the CD that says we shouldn't, so I think we should.
I think we should again.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt you.
You're going to trip balls, I promise, after the 4th time.
Yes.
But I digress about the Flaming Lips a bit. There's a great documentary, though. Something Freaks. The Flaming Freaks or Flying Freaks. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the Dark Side of the Moon and
Wizard of Oz?
Of course, right?
Yeah.
I had a copy of it on my computer where I could switch between the tracks and I could watch, or I could just listen to that music. I could like listen to the actual movie as well, which was really cool.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
It was freaky. It still is to this day how much syncs with that. But
It runs out.
it,
runs out though. Like the album is shorter than the movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
My friend did it, and we watched it one night on acid.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I was like, no.
No?
I like Wizard of Oz, but I don't like Pink Floyd.
Dude, it made it was just weird with the timing. Like with the witch
cool.
that comes up to the window and like how it changes with the scenes.
Yeah, with the black and white to the color.
Yeah, it was just
crazy.
like nutty.
And the Munchkin scene, don't they dance to Money or something?
I think
you
that's
hear
when
a
it
lot
comes
of
in.
the
Yeah.
ching, ching.
And they're all dancing. It's fuck. And have you ever heard behind the scenes stories about how terrible it was to make that movie? Like Judy Garland was given like speed pills to stay up.
Man.
The
Somebody killed themselves, and you
dwarves-
can supposedly see it, but it's like a fucking bird. Or
no,
some
yeah,
real
that's
shit.
that's like
like a munchkin hung himself or something.
yeah. And
Come on, I mean that was one of the biggest movies besides Cleopatra of the time.
sure,
Cleopatra,
but that was a failure.
Yeah, but
this was
one,
a big success.
Yeah, now it's hitting 80 years this year.
Oh, really?
It's the 80th year of that movie.
There is
being
a
out.
Warner Brothers version of that DVD I would like to get. I'm sure there's a Blu-ray now, but
Dan would almost guarantee to have a good story about that. And too bad he's not here tonight. But
yeah, that we should mention Dan is MIA.
The first time Dan hasn't been on the show.
Yeah, but he's here in spirit.
Hey, he's always here.
in Sprite.
You can just hear him talking now.
I think he left some of his DNA on the floor over there.
There might be in the drop.
Let me stay with Warner Brothers and some casting news here, guys.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about some movies.
The Batman. Robert Pattinson's the Batman. They cast Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, and then Jonah Hill is in talks to play supposedly a villain, but no one knows. It's rumored to be the Riddler.
Really? I was
But
going to say
everybody's thinking the
Oh,
Penguin.
I guess that's kind of mean.
Yeah, everybody thinks the Penguin, but
I think it's too obvious.
yeah.
And,
But
I think
even if it being too obvious, it might be for real.
maybe I think he should play the Mad Hatter, Jervis Tech.
He could
I
pull
think
either
that'd be
one
really
off.
cool.
He's not a bigger guy anymore.
No, he's not. What if he plays like Harvey Dent or someone villain we can't even think of?
Or who is the cop?
Bullock?
Yeah.
Maybe. I couldn't see that. The big name like that. I couldn't see him having such a supporting role.
Yeah. Well, the guy they had for Bullock in the Dark Knight trilogy, that guy was a. I
don't remember
that dude's like sick. Who's the dude that was eating the pita bread in the rain?
Oh yeah, no, that was a different.
Yeah.
That was a different detective.
He always remind me of Bullock. Anyway,
yeah. He's from the Year One storyline.
Yeah,
though. That is a real character. I forgot his name though. He's a cool actor.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. That guy he always does weird stuff. I don't know. This Batman movie is shaping up to be pretty good. I'm not a big fan of Robert Pattinson, but whenever you take somebody out of their normal element, but what is his normal element?
He's been doing a lot of independent stuff lately,
and then you put him into something like this, a big budget, because this will be a big budget Batman. Batman almost never fails until you get to the bat nipples and shit like that, right?
Well, again, these
but
characters,
still, it doesn't.
They did not fail.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, they don't fail to get it. You
No.
know, I think these characters are so flexible, and like when I trust Matt Reeves, his filmography is really good. He's friends with J.J. Abrams. Again, he did Cloverfield, the Let Me In remake, and the last two Planet of the Apes movies, The Dawn and the War,
which are great, by the way.
I read that he, during the writing of this script, was listening to a song from the score of Taxi Driver. Thank God for the Rain. And if you listen to it, it's a very jazzy, like detective style, like
a noir song.
So when I listen to that, I can see Batman standing in the corner of like a dark room investigating something, a clue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And like it's raining outside or some, I don't know. I'm actually really excited about this movie, and I hope they do something cool with the costume.
I mean, to be devil's advocate towards him, like for all the haters, because I think we have a very open mind when it comes to trying new things, because you never know, because it might stick great.
Correct.
Everyone was mad when Heath Ledger was cast.
Oh, no, he did the best job. But
won an Oscar.
With Robert Pattinson and Pattinson is doing this, it's going to be very interesting because I only know him from the Twilight series of having to watch it with girlfriends or whatever it is. That's what I'm going with. No, I'm just kidding.
I have them. I don't know why I do.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the guys that was burning his collection gave them to me, and I have never watched them, and I never will. The other day it was on, and they were literally, and I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?" And my wife goes, "Oh, this is Twilight." And I was like, "How the fuck do you know this is Twilight?"
It was a big deal. I worked at a movie theater the midnight premiere of the first one, and there was a line of 12-year-old girls like out the door. I'm not even kidding.
And they're also the 40-year-old moms like, "Oh my god, no."
But I watched the first 3. I know that he's been in a Cronenberg film recently, and he's been in. There was another movie I forget now. I'm sorry, forgive me, but Matt Reeves saw it and was like based on that performance, and it wasn't good. Good Times, is that what it is? Maybe.
Well, I've never seen him in anything else. Like I've only seen him in that. So I
don't think I have either.
No. Yeah, so I think like if I saw something else with him, he might have a much better like range in acting and all that. Because
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse is that one looks really good. If you watch the preview for it, it looks extremely good.
It's shot
Willem Dafoe too, right?
Well, it's just Willem Dafoe and him in a lighthouse, and it's black and white, and it's shot in like a smaller ratio, I believe, like 1:6 or 1:8, something like that.
It's like TV, huh?
Well, no, it's just back in the day, TV, I guess. But that movie looks amazingly cool. Directed by Robert Eggers, who made The Witch.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we had talked about that movie before, but I'm waiting to see it. I know Midsommar is coming out here pretty soon on DVD too, and I'm looking forward to watching that. I didn't go see it in the theater, but yeah,
I loved it.
Like me and Dan were talking on the last podcast. We were talking about how it's almost like more of a rise in the horror again. They're bringing more horror.
I have seen a lot more horror aspects in movies, like what was that, Ready or Not? Remember that?
Yeah.
And The Hunt, which should have came out, and I
think we're hitting a renaissance period again, and I'll
a
say
little
it
bit,
like I said before.
Yeah, we got the Creep Show TV series, the American Horror Story show.
By the time anybody's listening to this, that's going to be out. The Creep Show series, which I'm definitely going to be watching, 100%.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
What's it going to be on?
Creep Show on Shudder.
On Shudder.
Okay.
Yeah. So me and Dan were talking about this too. Anybody else that's listened to these before? We were talking about maybe Tales from the Crypt coming back too, which I was an M. Night Shyamalan.
That fell apart.
Yeah, I know. M. Night Shyamalan fucking waste my goddamn time.
If you ever ask Brock about him, just don't.
No,
stop before
please.
Yeah, I'm going to stop right now.
Go ahead and email Brock about all your M. Night Shyamalan questions and queries, and
I will
he will
answer
get back
them.
to you.
I will answer them, and I will give you my opinion.
His favorite movie is The Happening.
But make him see why he's wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, convince me to watch the fucking The Lady in the Water again, and I will drive to your house, fucking movie poop shoot style, and fucking hang out with you. You know what I mean?
I personally think like 1 or 2 movies good, but besides that,
I do like some of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. Yeah. I'd say Signs, and I like the.
Okay, guys,
thank
see
you.
Ya.
No, thank you, Brock.
No,
Brock, come back.
I'm not.
Brock.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. I'm back.
What happened? Ghost Rider was canceled on Hulu. I guess they couldn't come to a creative standpoint.
Well, the creators and the producers at Hulu, or the Hulu themselves, mainly Disney I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were trying to make it more family friendly. I don't know what the reason was, but the creators were just like, "Hey, we have indifferences." I
could see that. I really could, because Ghost Rider is a dark character.
Yeah.
If they had like a After Dark, Disney Plus with all the horror aspects,
we would have to sue them.
Weren't they going to bring back Robbie Reyes though from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it wouldn't be connected to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is what I read.
Yeah, something like that.
And I'm thinking, if you're going to bring anyone back, bring Danny Ketch back, right?
Yeah. That's one that they haven't really fleshed out.
They've never put that on screen before, right?
Yeah, no, they've only had fucking Nick Cage. Yes.
Johnny Blaze.
and
See,
they've
that's
had
what I would
Johnny
never
Reyes.
have pinned you for, is a Nick Cage Ghost Rider fan.
Fucking love that movie.
You know,
It's
I
that's
do.
the
I like
craziest
them
thing.
both. I like them both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so bad, but I love them.
Yeah, and like
First one's not
Yeah.
too. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I,
Admit it, it's a fucking shitty movie.
I'm not gonna. I'm not.
It is, but
It's
I
directed
love
by.
it.
It's written and directed by the same guy who wrote and directed Simon Birch.